Hello everyone, my name is Kevin. I'm a museum educator at the National Constitution Center here in Philadelphia. And today we're going to be taking a look inside our exhibit, Civil War and Reconstruction, the Battle for Freedom and Equality. This exhibit examines the story of slavery in America before the war. We have all kinds of artifacts from the Civil War years, and then we conclude with the period of Reconstruction as the nation struggled to rebuild itself, not only physically and socially, but constitutionally as well. More on that in a moment. Now, you may have already met my friends in Signers Hall, the life-size bronze statues of the men who signed the Constitution. Now, during that summer of 1787, those men are able to address many of the problems facing our country's government. They come up with the three different branches. They create the separation of powers. But they can't quite figure out what to do with what some scholars have referred to as America's original sin, and it would be left to later generations of Americans to grapple with the issue of slavery. This first room that we're in here, Building to Crisis, bridges the gap between the compromises made over slavery at the Constitutional Convention of 1787 and the outbreak of the Civil War. From first-hand accounts of the Underground Railroad to petitions to the United States Supreme Court, this room examines all of the ways that people fought against the institution of slavery. Now, as you move into the war years, you may have heard that September 17th is Constitution Day. Well, it's also the anniversary of the Battle of Antietam, which gave Abraham Lincoln the momentum he needed to issue the Emancipation Proclamation. And further on in this exhibit, we do have a copy of that proclamation signed by President Lincoln himself. The Civil War forever changed the history of America, and this is reflected in the Constitution. In the years after the war, the nation enacted 3 Reconstruction amendments. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery. The 14th clarified just who had the right to citizenship and due process of law. And the 15th would grant some Americans the right to vote, but not all. Some Americans would have to wait another 50 years before the 19th Amendment would get them that right. But fear not. Further on back, we do have another exhibit dedicated to that fight. Join us for these stories and more here at the National Constitution Center.